Hello, welcome back to another Craig and Dave Unscripted. And if you've been following us recently, you know we've turned these into like monthly newsletters. So this is the June 2024 monthly newsletter. And of course, it's that time of the year. I think all the exams are done now, aren't they, Dave? The last A-level ones were done the other day, A-levels paper 1 and 2. So exams are done, year 11s and 13s are leaving. And it's this sort of time of year where we get messages from students, thanking their teachers. And this truly is one of the nicest bits we do. We did this back in the first Unscripted series. And we do say, if you've had a particularly great experience, some really good teachers, you want to give them a shout out, let us know. Well, we've got a couple to do today. So here they are just for you. I'll do the first one, Dave, then you do the second one. So the first one is for Mr. Williams at Colet School. And I really like this message that came in. So if you're unaware of this, Mr. Williams, he's been an incredible teacher to us throughout both GCSE and A-level over the past 4 years. Strong opening. He absolutely loves his dad jokes. Yeah, I think we were both guilty of that as well, which never failed to make us laugh. Oh, okay, that's better than you and I then, Dave. And his humour combined with his extensive knowledge of computer science and many other bizarrely random topics make his classes truly unforgettable. His lessons weren't just beneficial academically, they were also very fun environment to be in. Each and every one of us looked forward to his classes. And it is not a surprise, teachers we do all this academic research about what makes good lessons and try this strategy, try that strategy. One of the single biggest things that affects student engagement, student learning, student achievement is student-teacher relationships, that ability to engage, enthuse, and bring a bit of joy into the subject. So clearly, Mr. Williams, you have done that. And yeah, well, your students appreciate it. So there you are. Right. I love that one. You can do the next one then, Dave.
Yep. Okay. So this one is for Mr. Smith at St. Andrews in Leatherhead. And I'm just going to read this one out. So he has been the best teacher over 4 years of computer science, and our class are so thankful to have him. He has very much impacted our lives. And, what more could you ask for as a teacher? Making a difference, impacting students' lives. That's what it's all about. And Mr. Smith at St. Andrews Leatherhead, that's exactly what you're doing, and your class really appreciate you. So absolutely fantastic. And as you say, Craig, I think it's really nice that students appreciate their teachers so much that they take the time to write to us and say, could you just do a shout out on one of your episodes? Because our teachers love the resources that you've got in the videos, and we know they'll watch it. And we just want an opportunity to say thank you. I think that's lovely.
No, it absolutely is. So obviously we're going to dive into our usual update format and go over the 4 main products and give you some updates. But we've got an update for one of our partners who, if you're following this series, you're aware it's Hannah and Ari. Harry and Anna. Wow, I'm mixing my first letters. It's been a long day. It's Harry and Anna from Mission Encodeable. So I'm going to bring them on. Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good, thank you. Hello from Hannah.
I'm so sorry. I said
most people would do another take there and do a cut, but
no,
not us.
It's called Unscripted for a reason. We've spent the day at Bronsgrove School preparing for our conference, which we'll talk about later. And I've literally only got back from Birmingham a couple of hours ago, so I'm a little bit frazzled. But yes, we have Harry and Anna on from Mission Encodeable. And if you've been following us, you'll know that we entered a partnership with them a while ago to align our time to code programming materials with their Mission Encodeable program materials. And we've got a whole series that talks about how these two fabulous resources can work together for you and your students. So if you haven't clocked those, you can look back through the playlist and have a look. But that's not what they're here to talk about today. So I'm going to stop talking and hand over to Anna, who's going to tell us the update you've got for our community.
So our big update is our summer coding challenges, which I don't know if anybody has seen our Christmas coding challenges. They're quite similar, But for each level in the Mission Encodable and Time to Code kind of course, we have a really fun summary themed project. It should be a really great kind of end of term treat for your students. Instead of like, I don't know, sticking on some like boring film or whatever, you can do all these projects. Then they are computer science related. You can continue to teach your students, but then they'll be a bit more fun for your students rather than the usual, like, you know, kind of projects you might do if you're preparing for exams or something. So we have 10 for our 10 different levels. I'll just go over them kind of briefly here. You can just see the titles, but we've tried to make them really fun, as always. We've got our nice summary colors going on. Some of them are a bit mysterious. Sun, Sand, Sea is our version of rock, paper, scissors, but it's a bit more summary, so that's quite nice. But yeah, we have all kinds of projects, but they all use the same skills. They're just a bit more fun and a bit more summer themed for the end of term.
And of course, if you're if you're aware of the Time to Code or Mission Encodable stuff, they're aligned to the 10 levels. So no matter what the level your students are up to, and it's quite possible you have students at different levels, you've got a challenge to match. And of course, I guess you'd say that if you're on level 4, all of challenges 1, 2, 3, and 4 are applicable because you'll learn the skills up to there. So, you know, a number of challenges, regardless of where the levels of your students may be.
Yeah, they're all really good. And if you have any students, as you say, who have maybe got a bit further, but then they want to do the projects from previous levels, then we have lots and lots of different extensions so they can add to those programs and maybe build in some of those more advanced skills as well, which I think is nice. So I can just have a quick look at maybe level 2, which I think is a nice one. Which sea creature are you? Hopefully you can see this one has changed to which sea creature are you? And this is our project. And then all of these projects kind of follow this like general outline. We don't really do a walkthrough, so students can complete them in their own way, in their own time, and like work it all out for themselves. So I don't know, we can give it a play. We can see what sea creature you guys are maybe.
Who's going to do it?
Yeah.
So you want to go at this? Are you more attractive? Oh dear. Are you more active? Let's not answer that question. Are you more active in the day, the night, or does it vary? Oh, I'm known as a night owl to my friends. I say night.
Let's go for night.
I'm going to be happy with what sea creature I am. Do you prefer to stay in one place, or are you more adventurous? Stay or explore? Oh, I am quite a home person. Stay.
Stay.
I do like the creature comforts. Do you prefer a big group of friends, a small group of friends, or do you prefer to be alone? No, small. A small group of close friends. Small. Yeah.
Well, you'd be a giant Pacific octopus.
Right. Okay. I mean, I can't say I'm mad about that. Brilliant.
Good animal to see. Yeah. Okay. So, and then that will obviously change depending on what you put in. But as always, we give students some like starting code to like help them structure those programs at the beginning, which is always really important. And then we provide, if needed, a bit of information. Like here, we have all of our different animals that you could be and what like their characteristics are, which stops people having to do their own research because it took me quite a long time. And then we have our kind of outlines for the different sub-programs. And these are quite detailed, but without giving any of the actual code away. So students can like work that out for themselves and do a bit of revision if they might be forgetting before the summer. And that's all outlined. Then we also have some hints, which are always good. And then you can see, just a few handy tips and tricks if you need that. Finally, we have the evaluate your program section, which is a really good skill to have. As always, we do that through basically all of our projects. And I know that's the same on Time to Code, so that's a really important skill. And then we have some extensions, and this one is just to find out more about your own sea creatures, because if you don't want to be an octopus, you might want to change that to be a different animal. And that's the general structure for all of our different projects, but they are all really, really fun and really summary. So hopefully
thank you very much.
Enjoy them.
And this was the level 2 one we were looking at, wasn't it?
This was the level 2 one, yeah.
Yeah. So of course, just to remind people, as I said, the Time to Code and the Mission Encodable levels all aligned. So if you're learning level 2, you'll correct me, please, guys, if I'm wrong. I believe level 2 is selection.
It is.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
okay, everyone's
right.
nodding. That's good. So, of course, and I could see that by what's going on here. This is sort of if statements and stuff. So it's selection. So as Anna said, we're not giving you everything in these coding challenges. So if you get stuck, you can go back to the level 2 material in Time to Code or in Mission Encodeable, and there's all the stuff there for you to learn. So you can go back and go, oh, I can't quite remember the syntax. That I'll go and have a look. Oh, now I can solve it. And of course, because you can do the level 2 stuff, you can have a go at the level 1 challenges, which I think would be input and output level 1. Hey, I'm doing good. So yeah, it's all there. Brilliant. Anything else?
What I really like about it as well, Harry and Anna and Craig, is although you're trying to inject fun, which is the mantra of Mission Encodeable, let's take programming and make it more fun rather than having a focus on exams or having a focus on exacting teacher pedagogies and the stuff that can get in the way and make things a little bit more boring. What I really love about it, though, is that actually what it has achieved, without saying it on the tin, is reinforcement, which is one of those great teaching skills, because what you're doing in level 2 with those selection statements is what the students have been learning in level 2 in the other programs. And the programs, some of them are quite similar. Like you said, you've got your sea, sand, and sun, was it? I think something like that, which you said was, like rock, paper, scissors. Well, we've already got rock, paper, scissors in the scheme of learning, but this is an opportunity to take that and have another go at it, perhaps in a different context. And that ability to use the resources to reinforce the learning is great. I really, really like that. Really great opportunity to reinforce what they've done.
Yeah,
they are all free. I feel like we should add as well. So in case you're wondering,
just add that in.
Yeah, that'll be
free. That's it. The entire programming offered by both Craig and Dave and Mission Encodeable is completely free. So why go pay for resources when you've got excellent free ones here? But yeah, one of the things. Go on, Dave.
I was just sorry, Craig, and of course written by Year 12 students.
Yeah.
We've said this before that we create programming exercises and materials, but there's something special about it being created by young people for young people, because you do see things in a different way to us, and that's what brings an extra sprinkle of magic, I think, to some of the programs and the approaches that you're taking. So absolutely great. When are these available?
They'll be available. Sorry, Harry, you go.
Oh, sorry, no. Well, they'll be out by the time this video goes out, I should assume. I think the official date we've put on it is the 22nd of June. Just check that. Yeah. So, yeah, as long as you're watching it after then, they will be out, ready to go. And, yeah, all free online, and any IDE can be used as well. So
that's brilliant. I don't think I need to sort of ham up everything everyone said, but my mantra to students always when they started GCSE A level was, you do not become a programmer by turning up to my lessons and listening to me talk about programming. You become a programmer by programming. So that practice and repetition is great. Not only do you have level 1 to 10 challenges on Time to Code, you have on Mission Encodeable. They had Christmas themes one, now they've got summer themes one. Practice, practice, practice. And before you know it, it will become second nature. You become an artist by painting, a musician by practicing. You become a programmer by programming. So just practice it. Right. That's awesome, guys. Anything else? I don't want to obviously cut you off if you were desperately wanting to say something else that you haven't said. Otherwise, we will move on with our updates.
That's all from me.
Yep, that's our update.
Right. Well.
Thank you very much, guys. Well, it was lovely having you here. Thank you ever so much, and no doubt we'll have you again on the future. Thank you so much. Take care, both of you. Bye bye. Oh, cut poor Anna off there. not having my best day, Dave. Right, so we'll move on with our newsletter. And obviously, we're going to go through our 4 main products and just let you know anything that's new since we last did the newsletter. So first, Smart Revise. Dave, did you want to just let us know what's new in Smart Revise this month?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, firstly, I just want to remind teachers that we've revamped the Smart Revise promotional website. So there's now a section, I'm a teacher, I'm a student. And if you select I'm a teacher, it introduces you to this thing called the journey to raising attainment and reducing workload. And what this is essentially, it's based on the research, but it's also based on our experience in the classroom over more than 20 years, how we got students prepared for exams and realizing that it was about the slow burn rather than the sprint finish. Not what students want to hear. They want to cram at the end and they want to do it as quickly as possible. But actually, we're following this thing called the Revision Revolution, which is a book by Helen Howell. And what we've introduced is a 12-step, you won't be able to see it very clearly here on the video, but a 12-step plan to getting the most out of SmartAdvise. So if you're already using SmartAdvise and maybe you're just setting tasks or you're getting the students to use quiz, there's so much more that you can do. And by following this 12-step plan, which is written in a way that gives you the most impact immediately and then introduces the more intricate functions, if you like, later on in the journey, but it's broken down into the things that you would want to achieve. So for example, retrieval practice homework, recap plenaries, do now activities, end of topic tests and all that. So it covers the things you'd want to do as a teacher, but as a 12-step plan. So if you haven't seen the journey already, I would strongly encourage you, as you're planning for next year, thinking about how you might use SmartAdvise, to have a look at what we're presenting there. Because in our experience, that journey makes a massive difference to student attainment, as well as making your life easier by reducing workload. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that we have introduced a new report. So in order to support some aspects of the journey, typically things like monthly reviews, which is part of Rosenshine's principles, and baseline assessments, catch-up planning, that sort of thing, we recognized that we needed another report that would make it easier for analyzing the data in terms mode. So you've now got a new analytics report called Confidence in Terms, which will show you all the students down one side, all the subject-specific terms across the top in columns, and where the student and the term intersect, it will show you the confidence that the student has with that particular term from two places. And this is quite important. The first is the student's own RAG rating. That's what their own red, amber, green rating of their confidence, if you've got the students to engage with terms mode in that way. But also, and this is a relatively new feature, if you're setting tasks that include definitions, so the terms questions, when you commit that task to the mark book, it will automatically overwrite all the confidence indicators from the students depending on how well they answered those questions. So if they got full marks, it will give them green. If they got 0 marks, it would give them red, and something in between would give them an amber. So it's a great way of then looking at some of that task and term data in a different way. So that's really something to have a look at if you haven't seen it before. While we're on the topic of making a difference, we've got our own shout out, Craig. I haven't shared this with you.
Oh,
this
okay.
is really nice. So we had a
unscripted.
student write to us. I won't give all his details because that's not fair. But a lad called Dion's written to us from a school somewhere in Portsmouth, and I'm saying that just so that he recognises himself. But what he wrote to us was this. I can confidently say that your SmartAdvise revision website has helped me tremendously in the lead up to exams. I've used it regularly, practicing my knowledge of computer science for my exam, and I believe that it's a highly valuable resource for students. Now, we're not making this up. That's an email that came in, but critically for me, it came in after the exams. So this is a reflection on the usefulness of SmartAdvise after the exams. And thank you, Dion, if you're out there listening. You probably aren't, because this is an update to teachers and you wouldn't have lasted this long on such a boring video, but thank you.
Especially when you talk so much, Dave.
Sorry.
I'm teasing you. Anything else to update our users on SmartAdvise, or was that the
No, I don't think so.
Perfect. I'll grab the next couple then. So classroom resources, just to let everyone know, obviously it's that type of year, isn't it, where you're looking ahead to next year. Maybe you're sending your year 9s off and you need some transition work because they're going to start GCSEs, or you're sending year 11s off saying, oh, they know their A-level options. You want to send them off with transition work to do. That seems to be the thing now. We can't give students a break over the holiday. We must set them transition work. And you as a teacher, you don't want to write that transition work. If you're a Craig and Dave subscriber to our premium resources, we have you covered. So we have full transition packs. We have student versions and teacher versions with answers. There is more activities in there than it is reasonable to ask a student to complete over their summer holiday, especially as they'll probably get transition work for multiple subjects. So you as a teacher can go through it. I think what's that? It's 8, 9. Oh, there's an awful amount. If you keep going, there's loads. You can choose choose what to give them. But we've got transition booklets for year 9s heading into the start of the GCSE, and year 11s heading into the start of an A-level. They're available under the My Little Extras pack under your premium membership login. A little update then on YouTube. Nothing to share here. The remastered work for the AQA A-level videos is still well on track. Out of 185 videos, there's only 10 left to produce. They do have to go for a QA and video recording, but we're still well on track for our commitment of starting to release the new videos ready in time for the new academic year. But before we leave, Dave, we do have a bit of other news, don't we? We've gone on about it every video for the past 2 or 3 months, but this is our last chance to remind people to go on.
That wouldn't possibly be the Craig and Dave conference that we...
It is. I've spoken for the last few minutes. Go on. Just if you don't know about it by now, you've been living under a rock. And there's not actually, in all seriousness, I know everyone says this, by now there's few tickets left. Well, of course, everyone always says that, don't they? No one says there's no tickets, please buy them. But there really are not a lot of tickets left. This conference, as of filming this video, is 13 days away. And by the time it goes out, probably be only sort of 10 days away. So there's not a lot left. But yeah, what do you want to tell people?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about that, because unfortunately, you know what happens in school. Suddenly the senior leadership team have put an event on the day that you were due to come to the conference, and now you can't come. And as a result, we've got a few tickets that have become available. So if you haven't already signed up and you think you'd like to come, it's at Bromsgrove School on Wednesday, the 3rd of July. Have a day out of school. That's what we think you deserve. But because it's a day of CPD, genuinely, we've got keynote speaker from Professor Miles Berry, who'll be talking about the future of AI in education. We also have talks from over a dozen other people, and you can choose 2 of those to attend as well. And then in the afternoon, Craig and I are going to be doing a sort of big reveal, if you like, on the future of Smart Revise and what our plans look like for that product for the next few years. So a big event, lots of people will be there. Over 220 people will be there. It'll be fantastic to see.
Last few tickets, craiganddave.org conference. If you leave it, by the time we do the next letter, we'll be talking about how great the conference was that you missed. So sign up now. And it wouldn't be a monthly newsletter if we didn't give a nice little shout out to our friend Alan Howardson and his How to Teach Computer Science podcast. Have you been featured on another one of his podcasts recently, Dave? Or you seem to pop up?
No. I haven't, but to be fair, I just wanted an opportunity to say thank you to the people that do help us, because although it is Craig and Dave, there's too much work for us now, so we do ask for help from other people. So obviously we've got David Morgan, who is doing our weekly videos on YouTube about ethical issues in computer science, and they're great for class discussions. And he had a second episode on Alan Harrison's podcast, How to Teach Computer Science. And so that's available at pod.httcs.online. And Alan Harrison is actually helping us at the moment, along with Andy Colley, creating lots more questions for AQA A-level computer science in Smart Revise. So thank you to those 3 people, especially, who are really busting a gut at the moment to help us create a load of content. One final thing on transition work, Craig, I forgot to mention, and I've got it right here. a plug for Alan Harrison's book. Now, we don't get any money for any of this. In fact,
no, we're not getting a bit of the profit every time we sell one.
We pay Alan Harrison to create content for us. So this is we don't get any remuneration from this. But How to Learn Computer Science by Alan Harrison is excellent summer reading. If you are, particularly well, in any school, I was going to say if you're in a grammar school, but that's not fair. I think if you're in any school, giving students this book to read, not necessarily all of it, but some of it over the summer holiday, and then come into school in September and talk about the chapter and some interesting facts that they learned in there, those kinds of things. It's nice, easy, simple transition work if you don't want them to do our workbooks and worksheets, for example. And then you can use this throughout the year, because maybe you ask them to read the first couple of chapters and have a discussion about it in September. And then as a class, you can start looking at chapter 3, chapter 4, and maybe ask individual students or small groups of students in the class to take one of those chapters and do a very small presentation to the rest of the class about the chapter and what you learn in it. Would be a fantastic activity for students to engage with what's known as the hinterland. So things that aren't in the specification per se, but the specification wouldn't exist without all that additional knowledge about computer science. It's quite interesting. So How to Learn Computer Science. If you haven't got a class set, I would get one, seriously.
It's worth saying Alan's got obviously 2 books as to how to learn computer science, but there's equally as good how to teach computer science, really full of insights and pedagogy for teachers. And again, we actually brought him on to review that first book quite a while ago. So flip back through our unscripted playlist and you'll see him talking about some of the features in that book. He has a monthly podcast, which has been put on the screen there. You can get to it pod.htTCS, how to teach computer science.online. But I think that's it for our June update, Dave. Have we missed anything, or are we done?
I think that's it.
Marvellous. Right. Well, the summer holidays awaits everyone, and teachers always love that bit. Everyone else is moaning we have too long. We know we don't have long enough. Before you know it, 1st of September will be out the corner. But for now, congratulations everyone for making it through another academic year, and enjoy a well-earned rest. And we hope to see a bunch of you at the conference on the 3rd of July. Take care. Bye-bye for now.